Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 46 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Adam, you're back from the land of Canada. The Lions had a blowout, massive victory for the Jags. Were you able to watch this game?
How was I able to watch this game? Hey, shout out to the Toronto Argonauts for winning the Grey Cup, the 101st, 111th Grey Cup. Yes, so before the Grey Cup actually started, we were able to catch the Lions game in the hotel room. I brought my Apple TV with me thinking, I could probably watch the Lions game just in case on my Apple TV that they don't have it on a local broadcast station. But then lo and behold, my YouTube TV doesn't work in Canada. Even though I got it to work in Toronto, it wouldn't work in British Columbia and Vancouver. So I was like, crap. So I'm furiously looking on all the different stations up there, and their network up in Canada is called TSN, and they have 4 or 5 different TSN stations. I was able to find it. Lions Jags was on TSN 2. Shout out TSN 2, and they played the whole game, so we were able to watch that. And as soon as that game was over, it was right across the street to BC Place for the Grey Cup because our hotel was right across the street from where they were holding the Grey Cup. So it was a pretty good day for me because I got to see my Lions blow out the Jags, and I got to see the Argos get the victory. They were the underdogs in that game, and they came out with the victory. So enough about Canada. We're here to talk about our beloved Detroit Lions.
Yes, we are. Hopefully you had a big bowl of poutine to celebrate.
Well, I didn't. Randy definitely got some poutine from a McDonald's because Canadian McDonald's would sell poutine, and but I don't think I saw any at the game. The best food item, real quick, I saw at the game was a burger where the buns were donuts. It was like the double donut burger or something, and it was just 2 full-size donuts with a burger in between them. I should have bought it, and I didn't, and I regret it.
You only live once.
I guess so. And I was going to get a Jared Goff chant going at the Grey Cup. I had my Jared Goff jersey on at the game, but I won't say I chickened out, but I was just so into the game, and I was like, you know what? They're celebrating Canada here. I can't make it all about me and the Detroit Lions. This is Canada's day. So that's why there's no viral Jared Goff chants at the Lions game. While Dad and I did see on the Jumbotron, I wasn't the only person in a Detroit Lions jersey. Somebody had an Aiden Hutchinson jersey on somewhere in that stadium.
All right. Sounds like you guys had fun. Today's
show, it was
show,
great.
We're going to go over the Lions Week 11 massacre to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then look ahead at Week 12 against the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts?
So,
the Indianapolis Colts?
they're going to be needing coats after this.
Lions are going to put them coats out of hanger and put them back in the closet.
So Lions 52, Jaguars 6. Lions pretty much the whole game just dominated this game.
Understatement.
Only held the Jags to 2 field goals, which is great.
Only.
Yeah. Should have been one, but oh well. Let's jump into some stats here real quick. Jared Goff, 24-29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. Vanilla Vic showed up, had 4 carries, 21 yards, with a 5.2 average per carry there. So, yeah, he's got some wheels on those legs of his.
Right, and the perfect passer rating.
Yep. 158.3?
Yes, sir.
You got David Montgomery, 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.0 average per carry, 3 receptions for 20 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries for 69 yards, 1 touchdown, 6.3 average, 1 reception for 54 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 receptions for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams, 4 receptions for 124 yards and 1 touchdown. Jaguars side, Mac Jones, 17 for 29 for 138 yards, 1 interception. Travis Etienne, 12 carries for 27 yards, 2.2 average. And Brian Thomas Jr., their rookie wide receiver there, 5 receptions for 82 yards. So not a lot going for the Jags in this game. Total yards for the Lions 645 yards, Jaguars 170, and time of possession Lions 39 minutes and 6 seconds, and Jaguars 20 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the offense. Offense and defense in particular, nothing really to nitpick about. Like both sides of the ball, you'd ask anybody, they felt like nothing to complain about. Everything was clicking. Everything was great. Second half showed up, and I don't want to say I was bored, but it was like the game's done, sealed, delivered. There's nothing to worry about there. So
yeah, no boredom. Not bored in the slightest watching this Lions team function. 7 straight drives. They completed a touchdown to start the game. On the 8th drive, they kicked the field goal, and on the 9th drive, they what did they do? They kneeled it down to end the game. So what an unbelievable stretch there for that team. I mean, say what you will. Look, and I know there's some people are going to criticize the Lions for they challenged that one play where it was the Jaguars had like a catch, but then the Lions challenged it and it ended up being incomplete. People were complaining about that because you're up by so much. Why are you challenging it? Just let the Jags have something. No, this is the NFL. They're big boys and they can deal with it. Like Dan Campbell is treating every play like it matters. It doesn't, like, seriously, he's treating every play like it matters. And to help his team win and put him in the best position. So not going to complain about that. The other thing people are complaining about was that yardage disparity. You know, like everybody's like, oh, why are the Lions hanging up the score on the Jags? It's like, are the Jags not a professional football team, Kyle? Like, do they not play in the NFL where they get paid millions of dollars to play football? Maybe stop Detroit instead of letting Detroit get 645 yards before. Was that after kneel downs? Because, like, that's unbelievable. And the disparity between the 170 yards the Jaguars put up and what the Lions had, that's 470 yards ish that the Lions had more than the Jags. That's the biggest discrepancy in 45 years. You know how many bad teams have played in the NFL in that 45-year span, Kyle? I can at least tell you there's 2 teams that didn't win. Well, actually, there's 3 teams that never won a stinking game on that list, and they never got blown out quite like that. Like, well, maybe they did. I don't know. 40 years, trying to figure how far back that is. Regardless, that's back to the 80s. But regardless, there's a lot of bad teams in that time frame, and they didn't even let this happen. So people need to stop saying, "Oh, Detroit just landed on a bad team." Well, guess what? There are a bunch of other bad teams. They never did that before. So how about you give the Lions some credit for doing something nobody's done in 40 years?
Yeah, and even
I yield the rest of my time.
Campbell had an interview on 97.1 this morning with Jim Costa, and they were asking him, "Hey, a lot of people are wondering, like, why don't you sit your starters earlier in like games like this?" And he said, "Well, I'm not that guy. I don't do that. It happened once, I believe, when he was the interim coach for the Dolphins. He sat his starters pretty early, and the other team like ended up coming right back, so he had to kind of get the starters back in the groove, back in the game. So he didn't want to take that chance, and he doesn't want to take that chance again. So yeah, just like you said, like this NFL teams, everyone's like a professional player. And I think it was Kirby Joseph said it best. They asked him in the interview, he's like, well, you know, if you don't show up to win, we're gonna beat your butts. But he didn't say that. He said something else. So I mean, it's true. Lions are playing like bully ball out there, so you got to come into these games like expecting to win, because if not, the Lions are gonna run all over you.
Yeah, it got out of hand quick, and you saw how out of hand it can get when the Lions are firing on all cylinders. I mean, yeah, Joseph said it, but I mean, a couple of the defensive players said it's like, what do you want us to do? Come here and play. Like, we're here to play, and the Lions play with their hair on fire every single down. It doesn't matter. Like we saw the Texans came to play last week. We've seen some iffy teams, come and play pretty good ball against the Lions. They give them their best shot. And look at the Titans. The Titans, and sometimes you have to also acknowledge how dominating the Lions actually are. Because look, you think about it, the Titans and these Jags that the Lions blew out. Like, what have they done in some of their other games? The Titans played a close game with the Vikings for the most part. I mean, and we played a close game with the Vikings. So it's not like these teams aren't able to compete and play close games. It's just when they matched up against the Lions, they just couldn't overpower them. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's so. I mean, maybe that goes to more to say what Detroit can do, or is it these teams just we handled Minnesota, we could take these teams, so Detroit they're just overrated, and do they just get in their own head? And hard to say, but all I know is this is big boy ball, and I will not stand for people saying that any NFL team needs to let up on the scoreboard, that teams need to, well, don't go for it on fourth down because you're up by someone. No, the Lions are going to stop them. You're a professional team that gets paid millions of dollars. Stop them. Look, we've had to deal with it for years as Lions fans. How many times have we gotten blown out? I don't think anybody took it easy on us. Oh, we're just going to keep hanging up 40 burger, 50 burger on these hapless Lions. How many years have we seen that? Now that the shoe's on the other foot, oh, guys, you need to take it easy on these other teams. No, Detroit's done with it. Detroit is on a revenge tour that, a lot of people will point at games in the last year or two. No, Detroit's on a revenge tour for the duration of the lowly Lions that we've seen for most of our lives. They are on a incredible revenge tour. I'm all here for it. Hop on the bus with Just Lying Around, revenge tour, Detroit Lions. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, growing up watching those bad games,
the revenge roar. It was right there, Kyle. I just thought of it. The revenge roar. There we go.
Well, yeah, my dad would always turn the game turn the channel off the game to NASCAR at like second quarter of the game because it was just so bad.
Hold on. Did Child Protective Services come and get your dad for making you watch NASCAR? That's gross. Good Lord.
We grew up watching.
Randy Snow would never make his kids watch NASCAR. Randy Snow is a saint compared to your dad, Kyle. I'm sorry. I was kidding. Your dad's a nice guy. But it does explain a lot about you that, explains so much.
All right, moving on here. Defensive side, they played really good. Excellent. They only allowed 41 yards on the ground, only allowing ETN 22.2 average per carry, which is really good. And they only allowed 129 yards through the air, a lot of it to their rookie receiver there. They only allowed 2 of 10 third down efficiency for the Jags and no touchdowns. Defense, they caused 5 punts and 1 sack. Jack Campbell and Zadarius Smith got a half sack on that, which was great at the end there. I know the crowd was probably going nuts to see Zadarius Smith get a sack for him. So that was good for them. And Joseph with another interception, which he got a total of 7 now, and he's leading the league in interception. Brian Branch also for the other safety, 5 tackles and 2 assist tackles, and a really, really nasty hit to Evan Ingram, which was awesome to see.
There were so many. So all these Lions, give the Lions defense some credit here. They fly to the ball. It doesn't matter where on the field they start. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch especially, coming from the safety position, out of your screen, and then just miraculously, they're making a play to the ball. It's awesome. The best safety tandem in the league, it's not even close. These two guys are incredible, and when any of these guys, the corners or the safeties hit you, they're going to hit you. Robertson had that great hit at one point too, a nice clean hit, by the way. So I'm tired of the dirty talk. Look, the Lions know where and how to hit guys. Sometimes you get a bad angle if a player moves or whatever. So these guys are not dirty players. So let's just get all that out the way. These guys they are out there to level you. They are out there to hit you. Yeah. So be prepared. This defense is great. And let's give some credit to Aaron Glenn. I'll be one of the first people to admit it. Aaron Glenn was on my, this guy's got to go. How many times did we talk about that the last couple, last year especially, like, got to get Aaron Glenn on a bus out of town. I'll admit it. There's footage of me saying it. I'm here to tell you what he needed, and we kind of talked about it at some points, was he needed his guys in place. And we see how he would do, especially going into this season, with his guys, with his man-to-man corners and his talented linebackers that can also double in coverage, that do so many different things. And look what this defense has become. Like they are worlds better than they were last year. And a top 10 defense this year. I don't know the exact where they rank in stats. It's almost irrelevant, but they're great. That all these guys are great, and it's with an injury like with Anzalone that happened during the game, who will be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken forearm. It's next man up, and we got Rodrigo back, and we got Jack Campbell who's stepping up. So the Lions are not short on depth, which is something we have not been able to say in years past. Yes, there's a couple positions. If a couple guys go down, it's going to change the trajectory of our season. But at least on the defensive side of the ball right now, one of those guys goes down, I am fairly confident in the next man up. And Aaron Glenn deserves a lot of credit for helping build that defense. Obviously, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes deserve a lot of credit too. But the way Aaron Glenn has been coaching this defense, he's coaching his way to a head coaching gig, this offseason.
Yeah, we'll see on that. Carlton Davis broke his thumb in practice against guarding against St. Brown, but taped his thumb up, had a weird cast on his thumb in the game.
Luckily, they were a Sonic glove, didn't it?
Yeah.
I almost thought he should be lending that over to Montgomery or Gibbs to wear.
But luckily, the Lions were ahead by a half, so they let him sit the second half, and Vildor came in, which I thought they were targeting Vildor a lot, but man, he seemed like he was doing a good job out there. So yeah, we got talking about depth. We got Vildor, Emmanuel Mosley should be back in the next couple weeks. Iffy Melifanu, I don't think he's coming back this season. He hurt him. I think he hurt his hand, so. Looks like he's going to go back on IR again, which sucks. I don't think he's going to play another snap for the Lions. I think this is his last year, I believe, which sucks for him because he had a great last year. He was doing great for the Lions there. But yeah, talking about Anzalone, he broke his forearm, out for 6 to 8 weeks. We got Rodrigo back. Campbell's back. Or Campbell. You have Gamble also. A couple other guys. They went out and signed David Long. I think he was from the Miami practice squad. I think he's going to, from the sound of it, he's going to be a good replacement for Anzalone until Anzalone can come back. So kind of interesting to see this Colts game if we get to see David Long in a few snaps here and see what he can do. But yeah, let's jump into Week 11 preview. Lions versus the Colts. It is this Sunday, 1 p.m. on Fox. Few key notes here. We're facing off against Anthony Richardson after being sat for a couple games. Biggest thing for the Lions is they need to stop him from running the ball because he's another big body person. That can run the ball, knock people over. So we need to make sure we stop that from happening. And also, stop Jonathan Taylor. He's having an off year this year. So we need to make sure we stop him and make the Colts turn into a passing team. Anthony Richardson does have an arm. He's got good wide receivers, but sometimes he likes to overthrow it. So, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch should capitalize on some interceptions for this game. And last thing for me is if Monty and Gibbs can get to that second level of the Colts defense, I expect them to just take the game over basically and hopefully get a couple of touchdowns ahead and just win this game pretty easily and pretty. I wouldn't say like another large margin, but a few touchdowns ahead of the Colts, and the Lions should handle this game.
Yeah, I feel like Lucas Oil Stadium is about to be Ford Field 2.0.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Lions fans are going to travel. It's not that far of a drive for anybody from Michigan. It's 3 hours for us to get down there to Indy. So Detroit, it's not going to be that big a deal. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of Lions fans there, and they are going to be loud, and it is going to cause some havoc. Maybe we'll get another false start like we did down in Houston. Richardson is going to be a problem. He's feeling himself. I think that win was a big confidence boost to him. And I'm curious to see how the Lions are going to contain the running quarterback factor. They did pretty good against Kyler Murray, who, as far as I could think at the top of my head, correct me if I'm wrong, he's the only running quarterback, I'll put air quotes around it, because you don't want to just call them a running quarterback. But the ability to run was Kyler Murray. And I feel like they did a really good job. Yeah, he rushed for like 40 yards that day. But all in all, compared to how we've treated and gone up against other running quarterbacks in the past, that's pretty good how they handled him. So I hope, and without Anzalone, that makes me a little more nervous, because usually Anzalone's that guy who's kind of playing spy on the quarterback and has that pursuit to the ball. I don't think I don't know if Jack Campbell's going to have that speed or not. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise me. But we'll find out what the Aaron Glenn's plan is. I'm very curious to see how they do that. I do expect them to have a control on the run game. The Lions have been stellar all season on the run game. I don't think they've allowed a 100-yard rusher at all, knock on wood. Jonathan Taylor, don't get me wrong, good back, but like you said, slump. He's been kind of off his game for the most part. He only had like 40 yards rushing against the Jets. Am I wrong? I forget what the stat line was I saw on him.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Their offensive line is not good. I mean, they're better than Jaguars, but they're not that great.
So I expect maybe a Zadarius Smith and a Lee McNeil to kind of get some pressure and fluster the young rookie, or he's not even a rookie, second-year quarterback, but fluster him, get him flushed out of the pocket, and have him throw some rampant throws, which I think the Lions defense could feast upon. So we shall see how that goes. And I know you're going to do your preview episode Friday or Saturday before the game on Sunday. So I'm sure you'll have more updates and all that good stuff then. But as of right now, I don't think it'll be a more than 2 or 3 touchdown win. I expect the Colts to play it a little closer. I expect the Colts to really want it. They're in the playoff hunt, so we're not sleeping on them. I definitely don't see the Lions blowing them out like we just did the Jags. But I expect a little more competitive game. Maybe the Lions up by a touchdown, 10 points, something like that. I think it'll be a little closer than people want. But Lions still with a W.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think Richardson's faced a duo safety like the Lions have yet this year. So you can see, I don't know, it could be a close game. It could be a blowout. Who knows? The way
it could be a tie, it could be a win, it could be a loss, Kyle. Who knows? Just throw all the options out there.
I don't think the Lions are going to lose this one.
I don't either. I mean, you never want to sleep on a team, though, ever. And this Lions team is trying to do that. They are not sleeping on anybody. That's why they go out and they punch the Jags in the mouth, because they're like, we're not sleeping on you, and we're going to hang up 50 freaking points. So they're not going to sleep on the Colts, and they're going to hang up a 30 burger? Hopefully.
Yeah, I think the Lions could get above 30. Around 35, 36.
I'm hoping for another efficient Goff game and to get that running game going. Sonic and Knuckles have a big day.
Yep, we shall see here. 1 o'clock, Fox. Anything else you want to add?
Well, since we're about to wrap it up, and I'll read the end of the show thing. I do want to say real quick a fun little note. I don't know if you knew this. So the 52-6 victory for the Lions is the largest loss in Jaguars history at 46 points. And my brother Aaron, Aaron, your brother-in-law, your other brother-in-law, your less favorite brother-in-law than me, was at the Lions game with his wife, and so it was cool that they got to see that. But it's also a fun fact that the Jags' second biggest loss ever was back in 1995 when they came to Detroit and lost 44-0. Do you know who was in attendance at that game?
Your dad.
Yes, he was. So Aaron and Dad both got to see Jag blowout games at different times, and I'm a little jealous. That means the next time the Jags are in town. I guess I got to go by myself, and maybe I'll get a Jags blowout game. So,
Well, your brother was saying like even Lions fans were leaving after the third quarter. So
I know, what the heck are we doing, Lions fans? We have a good team that's 9-1, and you're leaving early. What are you doing? I know you'd want to beat traffic and all that, but this is the stuff we need to appreciate and be there for. Like, because who knows? You never know. You can't take anything for granted. While I think this team's gonna be good for a long time, you never know. Like, you got to sit and enjoy it. I think leaving early. Come on, guys. Come on. What are we doing?
yeah,
All right.
I will say also Hendon Hooker stepping in on the fourth quarter there. Some of his throws, I mean, they look pretty good. So my worry that if Goff were to get hurt and Hendon Hooker stepping in, kind of went down there after seeing what he could do there.
I'm still not there yet, but I mean, I like him. He's got what, like 3/4 of regular season experience now, because that's the third time essentially we've been able to throw in the backups. But hey, it is what it is. And I guess one thing we didn't really talk about earlier, real quick, was Dan Campbell, not sitting guys early. I didn't get to really chime in, but you got to wait till about the fourth quarter, I think, before you can start pulling anybody. And I think he pulled out the right guys. But I'd like to have seen him pulled out maybe because they were on a drive at that point. Maybe a drive sooner, maybe. But like I like that they got Decker out with the shoulder. Like, all right, get down. They let Ragnow sit, and everybody's complaining that Penei Sewell was in there, but they only have so many roster spots.
Yeah, they only had 3 extra linemen, so they brought Decker, Zeitler, and Ragnow, the 3 veteran guys. So
yeah,
there's only so much they can do with that.
Right, and luckily they got Goff out of there too, and a lot of the receivers and the backs. How about the running back depth too, real quick? Vaki and Craig Reynolds looking good too.
Yeah.
So you put them behind that offensive line, guys. This Lions team has depth, and it's awesome. All right, anything else?
Just saying, just inactive Jack Fox because he didn't really play at all, and you got yourself another lineman on that roster there.
Maybe, but I mean, Jack Fox should be rested up. He better be punting 100-yard kicks because he's had 3 bye weeks this season. Okay, he had his real bye week, and he's had 2 games where he hasn't had to punt. So that dude's got it good in Detroit.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed listening or watching today's show and come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email at info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by liking the World of Football on Facebook or following the World of Football's X account and Instagram and all that jazz. All the links down in the description below. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, which drops new episodes every Tuesday, except for this week, because since we're doing this show and I'm tired from my trip, we're going to do the podcast on Wednesday this week. So be on the lookout for that in your podcast feed or on this YouTube channel, which you guys could subscribe and all that junk. And again, all those links will be down in the description below.
All right, that's it for us this week. Thanks for watching, subscribing, all that stuff. We'll see. Probably do another show probably Friday after the injury report comes out, and fill you in more on the Colts game that's coming up here. And until then, enjoy this victory. A massive blowout by the Lions there. Not too often you'll see these games, so enjoy it, and we'll see you next week, and thanks for watching. Go Lions.
Yeah, hopefully they keep the record streak going. That's what, 8 straight wins? Let's make it 9.
Yep.